I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to survive. Running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They helped me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to survive. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They helped me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to Sublime. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They help me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to Sublime.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the one and only Racers Elite Network. And Ron, they say everything is bigger and better in Texas, and I think the stars and the drivers of the Racers Elite Next Gen Series will be tonight as we strap in, get ready to rock and roll for a big-time Texas showdown. Ron, what can we expect in their next installment out there on the racetrack this evening?
Well, Texas being part of the Midwest, I'd say we're looking at a Western-style showdown tonight. So we'll have to see if there's a standoff for the end of this race.
Oh, I think we're going to see the standoffs be bigger, the stakes higher, and I perhaps see a driver go what I like to call full-blown Las Vegas mode, high stakes, to punch their ticket into victory lane. As I once again want to welcome all the fans, drivers, friends, and family. Thank you for being here tonight, a part of this production, as these guys always deliver a high-octane prime-time thriller, as we're currently about 6 minutes and 30 seconds into this 10-minute qualifying session. And Ron, a driver currently on the pole, or at least it sits right now, Truth Hope in the 55, a guy that's really dialed it up here in previous weeks. what could we expect from him this evening as he currently is trying to hold on here for the last couple minutes and potentially get his first pole of the season?
A lot, probably. Tristan 60 starts this with the series, and it'll be interesting to see how he puts that experience to the test here tonight. As it looks like the series having, so it looks like Tristan's about 15 races shy of what the Andrew Teft has listed here as far as starts with the series. So the experience could definitely play a role. We'll see if Andrew can make a run here at the at Hoke here before this race is over.
Absolutely. Well said as we send it now down trackside for qualifying. Hayden Malcolm out of Amarillo, Texas. So obviously we're racing at Texas. This particular driver lives in Texas. So this race is going to be that much more important to him as he's currently out on the racetrack for his hot lap. As he comes out of the turns 3 and 4 complex across the start-finish line. Let's see where that's going to slot him. And I'm not showing a lap time, which means perhaps he made some contact with the wall or perhaps out of bounds. And as you know, Ron, you even breathe on a wall here or an infraction on the racetrack, that lap is null and void. Let's see if this time around he's able to put one on the board and make it stick. That time, Bob. That's going to be good for that 18th place position. Clocks in at a 13.57. He's going to go for another one here. Ron, what's the key to getting around this racetrack? How do you put up a good hot lap here at Texas?
Oh, in these cars in the next gen, I'm not 100% certain, to be honest. I can't say that I've really dabbled in that a lot, but I've noticed maybe apex to the center of the corner, being patient on the throttle to the center, and not overdriving the right front tire to the center of the corner, and then at least not pushing the car on exit too hard, or you'll find probably what the 91 Hayden Malcolm did on his first lap and probably brushed the outside wall coming off at 2.
Yeah, and I think that's the case, and you're right. Sometimes slower is faster, backing those corners up a little bit, allowing that car to rotate before you get back on the loud pedal will certainly help you survive and be a contender, especially over the long run here, which, you know, let's be honest, throughout the course of the season, that seems to be the name of the game, as these races have a tendency to go lean, mean, and green for the most part. And these drivers, you know, doing a great job thus here in the early going. As we have just seconds remaining here in tonight's qualifying session, and I believe Truth Hope is going to do it. He's going to punch through and capture his first pole of the season for the 55. You know that's going to be a big moment for him. And much like this season has gone for Andrew Teft, a driver that's had a lot of speed, who has made the right decisions, and somehow either bad things happen towards the end of these things, or he's just a tick off on speed. Nonetheless, going to be a great effort for him as he's going to share that front row with Truth Hope on the outside lane of row number 1. Before we send it down trackside, let's go ahead and take at tonight's race information. We'll go ahead and throw that up on the big screen so you all can follow along at home with us. As we said at the top of the show, everything is bigger and better in Texas, and that's where we're going to do business this evening. Clocking in on the weather side of things, 83 degrees, ambient air temperature, 42% water drain in the atmosphere, partly cloudy skies. However, that sun and non-factor is we're under the lights in prime time. 6-mile-an-hour winds, and that track temp, lean and cool out there. These tires are going to be making all the grip, and those engines under the hood are going to be making all the power. So I expect we'll see some blistering lap times out there as well, as this field now gets settled and ready to rock and roll behind that iRacing.com pace car. Let's send it down trackside. You can see the 55 and 98. These drivers are going to get to roll off. So, Ron, what do you say we go through the starting lineup here this evening? On your pole this evening is that iRacing.com pace car begins the roll out of Hickory, North Carolina. Truth Hope. Outside of him, the HMFIC of the lead from Rhode Island in the Northeast in the Mustang, Andrew Tepp. Rolling off P3, a driver that's had plenty of mojo so far this season, Diego Rodriguez going to roll up in that third place position, while Jacob Blank, you're going to start in that fifth spot. Dennis Kane in the 4 ride, going to own that fifth place position, while Josh Free in the 39 is going to slot in that P6 position. 7th belongs to Curtis Eckert, while rounding out just inside the top 10, Brandon Honeycutt, one of the long run aces. Well, starting top 10, the Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas in that third place position.
Starting inside of number 6 is the 42 of Libra Koblenz. Is outside of the 93 is Zach Lockett. Starting inside of our number 7 is Kirby Wainscott in the 10. Is outside the 43 of Alex. The 10th version of Alex is 14th. Starting 15th will be Trevor Woodward in the 6th. 16th and 69 is Jesse Fox. Starting inside of row number 9 and 17th is Hayden Malcolm in the 91. His outside will be 24 of Ryan Coker in 18th. Alan Burgeon in the 00 will start 19th. And Christopher Pendle in the 94 will round out your field starting in the 20th position of the iRacing.com Space Car pulls to the pit road. And in the green, the Geico restart. Then we're a green flag with the 55 of Truth Hook getting a decent start here as he rolls through. But look at the outside lane. The Racers Elite number 98 working the outside. That is Andrew Teft. He's potentially going to try something here off of turn 2.
That's right, Andrew Teft going to try a little razzle-dazzle, take it to the high side of the racetrack, and it might not have worked out for him on cold tires, as he's going to hemorrhage one spot from a hard-charging Diego Rodriguez that is able to make the pass. As they now come off of turn number 4, it looks like Truth Hope is going to be the rocket on lap 1 as he leads here in the early going. Diego Rodriguez up 1 position, and look at this field, already fast and furious. Around that 5th place position, almost 3 wide already. Close quarters battle, almost 4 wide, Rob.
Yeah, during that initial start, let me find a reason to talk to Alan. We have a reason now because he is slowly working his way to the pit road with heavy damage on the right front of that 00 machine.
Oh, that is heartbreak for Alan Bergen. Look at that hood flapping up in the air. Something went horribly wrong for the 00. A driver I know who had big expectations for tonight, really wanted to go out there and perform well on the racetrack. And sadly, that 00 mangled. However, he does have a fast repair, and it's early in this race. That's the silver lining, is Alan Bergen should be back on the racetrack here sooner than later as we send it back top side. And it's all Truth Hope here in the early going, Rob.
Yeah, Truth Hook out front setting a very blistering pace at this point in time because he also has the fastest lap of the race this early, but I'm sure that'll change when this is all said and done. He's going to go 29.855, so I'm sure the draft here on this big Texas Motor Speedway Raceway will allow for somebody to undercut that into about a 29.5 second crack before this race is over.
Absolutely, and in fact, just as you say that, Diego Rodriguez is going to go new hot time on the board with a 29.84. And this is right where you should see some of the fastest laps on the evening. You know, on those new set of tires, about 5 to 6 laps into the run is when we're going to see maximum grip, in my opinion, and that should translate to the quickest speeds out there on the racetrack. We'll continue to monitor that, but right now, we're on board with the Hickory man out of North Carolina, taking a look at how he's getting around this place on a set of fresh shoes. Love the way he attacks turn 1 and 2 right now. You can see how he kind of backed up that entry so he can let that car just roll and wrap the bottom. And if you can get your discipline on the loud pedal right through that section of this racetrack, you can really make you become elite here, as that is a big critical moment out there, you know, especially running that lane. If you can get that car to roll and you can transition back to the throttle without sliding those tires, you're going to maintain a lot of momentum here on the racetrack. I mean, look at the precision there, as he is flirting right on that white line.
Yeah, you gotta flirt with that white line is a terrible thing to do, but it's the fastest way around the racetrack because that is exactly what happened to the 00 on lap 1. Alan got into turn 1 and 2 a little bit low, clipped the apron, and when he went to corrected it, shot him straight to the outside wall, and it was the hardest tip that I've probably seen so far with the safer barrier because it stuck the whole right front of the car and all the way to about the cockpit. So, fortunately for that passenger pair there, he was able to get that done and back out here. And right now, right in front of your race leader, potentially going to go not on the lead lap right now, so he's going to go another lap down, unfortunately. So it'll be 3 laps down as they go around him this time.
Alan Bergen going to do the right thing here and heat way to the leaders. As unfortunately, he's going to lose another lap here in the early going. As much as I would like to cover that incident Alan had out there on the racetrack, Ron, as you know, if it doesn't register as an incident in timing and scoring, it becomes rather difficult to try and isolate it and find it. If we have time later on in the broadcast, should we have a look, I'll try to go back there and see if we can, feature that. But right now, it is all the man from North Carolina, True Token, the 55 Wrangler machine. He is, or seems possessed out there tonight. He's another driver, Ron, that has had speed at times. He's had consistency until we get down to go time at the end of the race, and pit stops have snake bitten him at other times. Freak incident on the racetrack. And another guy that's looking to put the complete package here together this evening and come out of here with the finish that he deserves.
Most definitely was looking at statistics here, and Truth has a 75% top 10 percentage. So with the 4 races that we've had, and this being race number 5 this season, he's got some pretty stellar stats here. Like you said, he's usually there until the end, and unfortunately that's what really counts. And the biggest takeaway from that is he's made a lot of passes on the racetrack, and it's a couple here. I think it's 1 or 2 he's had close to the end of the race. So we've gone through a lot of races here, and incident-wise, he's only got 7 incident points this season. So that's a lot of track time for only 7 incidents. So great driving on his part, trying to keep that nose clean.
And he does a great job of that. And again, this is a driver that spends a lot of his iRacing time on the servers inside the Racers Elite house, if you will. A lot of different leagues going on here within Racers Elite. If you're looking for iRacing action virtually every night of the week, and even money racing special events, we've got that covered. Trucks you want, check the box right here at Racers Elite. Heck, even have the Flash Mash, which takes some of the most hottest series and generations of NASCAR Cup cars and even the trucks, throws them out there on the racetrack from a one-of-a-kind showdown. We even have that available. So if you're looking for a league to join, come be a part of the family that does it every single night of the race. And on top of that, clean racing, respect on the racetrack. It's a win-win situation. We can get you pointed into the Discord. Reach out to us here on the broadcast, and we'll get you down the right path so you can get out here and be a part of all the high-flying, high-octane racers action, right here on Racers Elite. And then, of course, up here in the broadcast booth, Racers Elite Network. And we talked about him earlier at the top of the broadcast, Andrew Teff. Currently tried that, I don't want to say it was aggressive, but, trying to just test, push the boundaries and test new things perhaps out there on the initial start of the race. We've seen him take it way up to the top shelf of the racetrack, trying to generate a run. It didn't quite go the way he wanted. However, Ron, I think if that was on a restart with hot tires, I think that may have worked pretty well for him.
Yeah, very well. They could have worked a lot better and keyed out for him. As we were talking about lap times earlier, it looks like Truth went back to the top of the board with 29.831. So they're going to continue to test it. I was watching another issue going that Ryan Coker had gotten loose, and as he was correcting it, made contact with the 69. Another collected loose car and able to get that car back under control. So Ryan Coker off outside of the draft pack at the moment, but he was able to get that car rolling on the speedway.
And that's what it's really all about, keeping that car alive out there on the racetrack. Obviously you don't want to go out there and, damage this car aerodynamically as this next gen, especially with the way how downforce is produced. You don't want to affect air coming into the car, going underneath the car. And luckily, the damage that he has to that Camaro seems to be minimal, as he is out there right now, seems to still have some decent pace in that machine. And the big question is, if we should get an opportunity to go under a yellow flag condition, I want to add that was a big storyline in last week's race. Perhaps a chance to go down pit road and patch it up a little bit, but still, all seems to be alive and well for Ryan Coker, despite that incident out there on the racetrack, as he currently runs in that 19th place position. Checking in on the live broadcast, I want to shout out Jackson Fox, as he's not only racing out there on the racetrack, but he's keying up in the live chat as well. And that beautiful Sunoco machine, that scheme really strikes a chord with you, doesn't it, Rob?
Oh yeah, it's, there's a lot of things that strike schemes around there. The Sunoco scheme is great racing fuel, as well as fuel station nearby here that I'm pretty certain to still use the Sunoco fuel. So you always got to use that premium fuel to help get you around. And I've noticed, maybe it's just me, but around here that's the premium fuel to use for maximum fuel mileage in the vehicles.
That's right, and Sunoco also has Ultra 94, and I can promise you 69 has that E15 Ultra, also the official fuel of NASCAR, as well as Fox runs in that 17th place position. Another driver I want to shout out here while we have time, Troy Thomas, the Nitrous Cowboy. First really good battle on the racetrack, and look who he's going up against. The TRD powered machine of Brandon Honeycutt, as they are 2x2 side by side, putting on a Texas thriller here on lap 21.
A great battle between the 3 and the 43 as they work around this Texas Motor Speedway. Like down the backstretch now. Some great racing going on, and Honeycutt. Let's see, Alex stepped to Troy Thomas. Honeycutt moved ahead of Christopher Pendle there. I saw the movement, but they able to pick up a spot. Looking at hard chargers at the moment. It's Christopher Pendle, and we won't. That's where we'll leave it at for right now. He's on a roll, and we'll continue to monitor that throughout the rest of the race and see if maybe at the end of the race we'll see where he's at.
I'll tell you what, he is rolling in the 5.0, but he doesn't have the reg top down because it's a race car. According to Vanilla Ice Ice Baby, so on a minor twist on the lyrics in the 94 machine out of Ohio. I love the white ribs on that race car, something that I've been doing with my schemes of, as of recent, just to kind of, add a little touch of uniqueness and doing something different. As he's having a great run here in the early going, as Ron pointed out, and he has been on the move, taking care of business up 9 positions from where he started. And as you said, that's all we're going to do. We're going to keep moving on, as we do not want to unport the broadcaster's curse this evening. Next battle, getting ready to heat up there on the racetrack, is going to feature the number 4 machine of Dennis Kane, and the number 35 of Play, as he starts to close in and dial up the excitometer in the 35 ride, who currently owns that 5th place position.
Yeah, Jacob Plank, a very high tested contender here. As I was looking at some stats and throughout the series, he's usually in the top 10. Of course, usually in the top 10. In his case, he's usually also in the top 5, and he's also got 2 wins this season, so he's won half the races that he's completed so far this year.
Yeah, Plank has been dominant throughout the early going here, and he always seems to find a way to be a part of the storyline. He's done a great job at putting himself in position to contend in these races. Certainly a lot of the competition. 35 is a focal point. He's got the target on him for all the right reasons. And once again this week, showing what consistency and all that momentum can do for you, as he's having another solid performance here thus far. He's only slid back 1 spot, but I really think that's because, he's trying to manage these tires. In Texas, I know it's a 1.5 miles, that doesn't get enough credit for just how much of a cheese grater it can be on those Dr. Fieldwoods. And with the trends of these races, as we alluded to earlier in the broadcast, if it goes green, remember, no stages here in Racers Elite. This is going to be a big strategy move for him, as I look to the 35 Plank to be good over the course of the long run, as We're currently on board with him, taking a look out back at the competition on the racetrack. I want to thank him for bringing us the views, sights, and sounds on board. As we now we're going to send it back to Andrew Teff as we widen things out. And Ron, all is well for the Big Mac man. Or just as I say that, I realize he's changed the paint scheme up a little bit, but nonetheless, good things happening right now for the 98 East 5.
Yeah, I was watching, we were talking about keeping the Dr. Feelgoods underneath of you and keeping things rolling. Right now, Jacob Plank is the fastest driver. He was even faster than the leader last time by, so that's played a role there. As this time by, he was a little slower, but while you were talking about him, had the cameras on him, he was a little quicker, so he's definitely keeping that underneath of him and keeping an eye on a couple things here. Looks like Andrew Teff back here is working at this spot, and he's kind of trying to play around with Jacob Plank here a little bit, so we'll see if he's able to make some moves on that. Originally McDonald's sponsored ride. I was contemplating McDonald's and ended up with a competitor for a little afternoon snack today. We hit the DQ up, so went for that sauce and tossed basket. That's kind of got my heart with that, between the sauce and the gravy. I'm a little impartial at the moment, but McDonald's is like my favorite. I mean, I'm actually, it's like a second close for me for breakfast now, because Hardee's has got that. You know, Hardee's is still doing biscuits and gravy.
I'll tell you what, Ron, I haven't had a chance to eat at all today. And seeing this Andrew Teff's car at the racetrack, and hearing you talk about that sweet, meaty goodness, I am really tempted to perhaps jump on DoorDash, place an order, but I think I can wait until this race holds up. Or I should say, holds out to the end of this thing before we go ahead and take care of that. But I'll tell you what, from the broadcast booth, when you have a car out there on the racetrack that kind of resonates with how you're feeling, such as being hungry, you see, you know, those, you see the advertisements featured on those wraps on those race cars. It certainly, you know, it seems to amplify, you know, those cravings while we're up here in a great side-by-side battle just behind the 90. This is going to be
coming up.
And that's a great point, Ron. With 32 laps on the board, our first round of potential Green Flake pit stops is going to be very close here in the upcoming future, as those drivers now get single file, perhaps to start coming down pit road. This is the first time we'll see it live under green flag conditions, as Zach Lockett runs in that 6th place position, currently up 6 spots from where he started. Josh Freed in the 39th. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, currently runs in 8th. Brandon Honeycutt, we talked about him briefly in the Toyota 9th. And Curtis Eckert rounds out your top 10. Up at the point, we've seen him last week. I coined him John Ross, his boss, and he's tried to do it all over again in the 44, as he is now taking the lead over out there on the racetrack, as I believe Truth Hope has already taken it down pit road in the 55 machine.
Got the 91 on pit road. I'm not sure about the 55 yet. He's still on the racetrack, so that's gonna be the 91 that was in, and I believe, I don't know if it was a scheduled stop. I did take a peek at his car. He had some front end damage, and I'm not certain. I believe he used a fast repair to get that taken care of, and he might have made a scheduled stop, you know, in his strategy book. But that's an untold story at the moment. I was gonna say, if you're really feeling that hungry, you can hold Alan Bergen. I'm sure he'd go dash you up some food.
Hey, I know Alan, and he certainly would. Anything that man can do to help, he is on it. And thank you for the update on the 91 machine, as the 55 of Truth Hope, who is your pole sitter, led in the early going, not down pit road yet. He's lost a couple positions here over the course of the run, as again, these tires start to fall off. It really changes the balance of this race car. But I'll tell you what, when he's got 4 Dr. Feelgoods on that car, that thing is a missile. To continue to watch Truth Hope here, still inside the top 5 in that 4th place position. Last time by the racetrack, a 31.25. One of the faster cars out there with that last speed he just posted. In fact, that's a 10th or so quicker than Ross and Diego Rodriguez, as he is now up in position. Remember, 20 started P3. Here he comes down pit road. Great job executing. He was able to attack it, didn't lock those tires up, Ron. And this pit road's a little tougher than most people like to think. He is coming towards you to his pit stop.
Yeah, I'm uncertain of tire wear as far as how hard they're abusing these right sides, and I've seen some of the cars getting loose on the corner exit. We got a lot of drivers making their way down pit road, and the 13 of Honeycutt missed his pit box. That's gonna cost him some time there. He's gonna end up with, I believe, 4 tires and fuel here. Looks like getting 4 Goodyear tires, and see the left side up, so he is going to, and the Sunoco race fuel is gonna go in. We'll be waiting for him to drop down. I was also looking right now with John Ross was your race leader, but now during the handoff of pit stops, Andrew Teft has inherited the race lead. And I was going to say, they didn't really want to see John Ross out front. He's only ran one other race here so far this season, and he took that one to victory lane. So they know that he's the one to look out for up front before this one's over.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, quickly. If you want to put a target on your back, if you want to make your presence known, go out and do what Ross did last week. Is he really flexed on the field? And you're right, that's the last thing the competition wants to see. However, Andrew Teft playing the long run game as he continues to stay out there on the racetrack. Just one, you got to be careful you don't give up too much time out there to the drivers with the fresh tires. Take a look at his best lap of this race. It was posted back on lap 6. It's 29.95. Last time by a 31.31. So as you can see, the fall off here might be a little greater than what you would expect. That's something he needs to keep in the back of his mind, unless he's trying to go all the way with the strategy and feels like he can perhaps make one less pit stop. If it stays green, he can play the fuel mileage game. And you know what? I wouldn't put that past Andrew Teft. The mad scientist always working, trying to be creative, to do things out there to put himself in position to win and punch his ticket. We'll have to see what happens tonight throughout the course of these 105 laps this evening. Truth Hope now has cycled back up 2 positions as he's now in second, running behind the 98 of Teft. And there's the other version, the Alex version, in the 43 Toyota, having a great run here in the early going. He's already churned up 11 positions, occupies P3. They currently run lap 41 right now, single file out there on the racetrack. Josh Freed now on pit road in that Camry. 4 Goodyear Eagles, 2 Kansas Sunoco Racing Fuel. He is down and away. Great stop there. The 39 machine.
Yeah, speaking of that, you got the Teft family, and now 1 and 2, and it comes down to the battle of McDonald's and Planet Fitness.
those two do not go hand in hand together.
So,
Well, I'll tell you what, Planet Fitness is going to put down the dumbbell, and he's going to come down pit road as he's going to set into the trenches for his first green flag pit stop on the evening. Solid entry by the 43. He now arcs it down into his pit box. Clean stop. Let's see if this now draws anyone else in, and it does, as Kendall. We were talking about him a little bit earlier, now on pit road. And here comes Andrew Teft, able to go 43 laps on that tank of Gold Pass. That is something to take note of. This is the McDonald's machine coming down pit road, perhaps for a Big Mac, 4 fresh tires, and a little bit of a drink to fill up that juice box on the back of that Mustang. As he's now got it locked. I thought he overshot his box there. He just crept into it a little slower than I thought as he executes a clean stop inside the zone for that crew to go to work. You can see now service being done to his race car. Truth Hope down as well. So he, again, also able to extend this run and go all the way to lap 43 on 1 tank of fuel, as this is now going to cycle the boss, John Ross, to the pole.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Truth Hope was giving a penalty on his initial stop and is now coming back to serve that penalty.
Oh, no.
Yep, we got adversity here at Texas.
You know, sometimes I even hate talking about the one thing that seems to kick your butt out there at the racetrack. I mentioned pit road late in the race. This time it struck early. And the 55 having a fast race car, beautiful looking paint scheme, and being quick, especially when he's got new tires on it. Self-inflicted gunshot wound on the racetrack. Has to serve that penalty, as my broadcast partner mentioned, and now finds himself back in that 19th place position. He's going to need some help. He's going to need a caution. You know, sometimes good things happen to those who wait. Perhaps we'll see the 55 get a chance at redemption, as he's currently being scored as the final car out there on the racetrack. 20 drivers took the initial green flag. Alan Bergen still out there fighting the good fight. I take that back. I thought momentarily the 20 had put it on the hauler. However, used his fast repair coming down pit road in that 00 Toyota. Hopefully we'll have a chance to speak with him tonight, as last week we went green flag start to finish and didn't have a chance to speak with our in-race reporter. Now comes into his pit box here. Slam the brakes on, and his crew's going to go to work and run everyone chasing Ross.
Yeah, John Ross out on the point. And a lot of I'd say a lot of the competitors are probably looking at that going, here we go again. But with the pit stop selection on lap 36 for him, you have to see if you can extend that stop out a little bit longer, because we may, just may, have seen Andrew Tuck make the move of the race, and it may have came early.
There he is, currently in that 10th place position. And again, he really rolled the dice. You know, I talked about, going full-blown high stakes. Whoa, we got a car up, parked near the top of the fence.
Honeycutt, I think.
Was that Brandon Honeycutt? That's typically not something he would do, as he now teleports it down to pit road. This is going to give us the first caution of the race. The 55 is going to catch a big-time break. This will also help the 00, depending on who's going to get the potential lucky dog here, or perhaps one can benefit from the wave around if things play out right. But let's go back and take a look and see what happened to the 13. Is he was parked high side of the racetrack. Let's go back to that instant replay. Here he is coming off of the corner. Let's go ahead and roll playback here. Oh my! He came off. Oh, double shot there. Not sure why his car took off with a lawn dart into the inside retaining wall. Let's go ahead and roll this back. Instantly teleports to the pits. Ron, go ahead, sir.
I believe he had some technical difficulty because he disappeared for part of the backstretch. When he came back, I don't think he was actually here when all that unfolded. So he was a victim of circumstance and along for the ride at that point in time.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why I couldn't pick him up on the replay, because when it started, that race car was ghosted out. It was gone, and then came in that basically spawned back in visible on a collision course with that safer barrier, and then ricocheted back up to the outside. Unfortunate game of pinball, not what he was trying to do, and then teleports it to the pits. Heartbreak here for Brandon Honeycutt is clearly connection issues plaguing his efforts here tonight. Is Andrew Tepna currently being scored as the leader.
Also got the lucky dog of Hayden Malcolm making his way back around to get a lap back, so he is the beneficiary of that for this caution.
Thank you for that. So that answers that question. Who was going to get the lucky dog? And it's also a driver out of the great state of Texas, Hayden Malcolm. As we're under caution for the first time this evening on Racers Elite Network, Matt and Ron up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. There's an incident involving Brandon Honeycutt losing his connection to the server, and unfortunately coming back in at the wrong trajectory, coming off of the race line, off the track, and paying the wrong time of visit there to the safer barrier, one he wished to probably have back. Very unfortunate, and you hate to see such a strong driver out of this race early as we work the first caution on the evening. Tep in the 98, talked about him a little bit And here he is, carrying the torch P1 for the first time this evening. Perhaps going to go with the long run fuel strategy. Does this caution change things, though, Ron?
Hayden Malcolm came to pit road, and I believe he was too fast entering. But the caution changes things. Oh, definitely. We had pit stops. We had drivers come down pit road. It's going to change the outcome. I believe even the outlook of what Andrew Teff did. But I think Andrew Teff did the smart thing here. Looks like he stayed out and has taken the race lead. But the smart part about it is he didn't throw his fuel strategy off, because if we have to go green flag, he's going to have to come in and maybe an early stop for him this time. Everybody else stays out, but it might play in here before this is all over.
Yeah, certainly. Teff did not come down pit road there. He was last down on lap 43. Everyone else behind him at lap 50 or better. So he's going to have about a 7-lap tire deficit on his tires. We're going to see how these Goodyears hold up to the fresh shoes on John Ross and company, as it's Ross going after Teff here on the restart. That iRacing.com pace car rolls through the turns 3 and 4 complex. The calm before the storm, as we're about to get fast and furious once again here. Ron, this one's all yours, buddy. Take it away.
The iRacing.com official pace car pulls to the infield, goes back down pit road. Andrew Teff and John Ross going to lead us down. The green flag is back out. They roll through the Geico restart zone. A great restart for Andrew Teff. We'll have to wait, because once again, that outside line picks up a lot of momentum as they roll through turns 1 and 2. Like the bottom side has a lot of momentum as well. And look at the 35 of Jacob Plank working down there. He's got the Mustangs under the hood, and they are running wild here down the back straightaway at Texas. As out front, it's still going to be Andrew Teff. They were able to run to the back bumper, but not be able to do anything with him yet, as John Ross is looking for some more momentum on the high side off the curve.
Tell you what, Andrew Teff said, no tires, no problem. He catches the field on the snoozer and gets on a dodge on that restart. But Jacob Blank was cranked up to 1,000 as well, as he's got the dark horse up to that 2nd place position. John Ross looks to 3rd. But how about Andrew Teff being able to utilize that clean air for the first time this evening? We can clearly see that has had an impact on the performance and handling of that dark horse, as he's currently out there running his fastest lap times of the race. Doing a great job, even with the fresh tires behind him. As those cars, though, start to cycle up the temperature, talking about the Goodyear Eagles, as it's 2x2 side-by-side momentum between Plank and Ross. This is a drag race, John Moore special down the backstretch. They still don't have it sorted. The 35 now is going to make a smart decision and pull back in line. You don't want to get stuck racing 2x2 side-by-side. Is that really coach those tires prematurely? As they now get it sorted. New quick lap on the board, Ross with a 29.82 run.
Yeah, like you're saying, you don't cook the tires prematurely. You don't want to use up that right front. You don't want to wear them out. You don't want to get loose early. But Andrew Teff right now, setting the bar high. He's out front. A lot of these drivers, one thing that he's doing right now is going to maintain that tire wear and not having to push it, but you get to racing for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You get 3 cars battling for it. Your race leader checks out, and kind of takes away from what you're trying to do. So you kind of got to play it smart, getting in the single file line and following for a little, especially this early in the race. I mean, we're about halfway through, so I'd still call it kind of early to be pushing the issue and pushing the bar, and maybe forcing others to make a mistake that might also eliminate yourself in this race.
Great point, and that's probably something that some of these drivers are keeping in mind, or perhaps in their race strategy and notes for this race tonight under the lights in Texas. As we jump on board with that Ford Mustang currently carrying the torch, leading the charge out here in P1 on the racetrack. Andrew Teff, of course, taking a look here at how he's attacking this racetrack, and you mentioned saving the tires and trying to just get a read for what he's doing out there on the racetrack as you were talking. And you can see, first of all, he's taken the shortest distance route around this place, and that's going to be wrapping the bottom of the racetrack. As you can see him come down and flirt with that white line. However, to your point, it can't be treacherous. Just ask the 00 all about that. And he's really backing up the corners here, too. You can listen to the RPMs of the engine. And right here, he's exercising a lot of patience before he drops the hammer back down, coming out of 4. That's another way to really extend the longevity of those Goodyear Eagles on this race car. He's just being very patient, very disciplined, and out there getting in that rhythm. The 98 is plugging in right now, getting it done as we work lap 60 of the 105.
He's gonna watch that TH Designs 44 of John Ross. He's got the Mustangs running in that one as well. And the last couple of laps, John Ross has been faster. He hasn't quite closed the gap in certain portions of the racetrack, but he's right there and he's keeping Andrew Teft in his vision. And he's waiting for the right time to make that pounce in his move, to take the race lead back in control. But he's got to work with that 98, and it's not going to be an easy task. I know Andrew's not going to give it up easy as he's trying to work that strategy still, in case this thing goes green flag the rest of the way.
Well said, but to your, Andrew Teft, I think, has an alternate strategy perhaps in play here. And this going back to that first run, we've seen him try to go as far as long as anyone else could on the racetrack. As majority of the traffic, oh my God, I am sorry, race. No, where that came from. Majority of the other competition out there on the racetrack came down 2 laps or so earlier, versus the 98 of Teft. And here comes that TH Designs inspired Mustang. And while you mentioned THD Designs, let me shout them out. TJ Hanley, head chief cook and bottle washer over there at the helm, does a great job. If you guys want to put some new life on your race car, I can definitely recommend him. He's a great person, even better artist. He does everything from start to finish in-house. He's who's on board John Ross's car tonight in that second place position. And Ron, we got a battle here starting to heat up for the lead.
Yeah, John Ross was working on the 98. He's reeled him in. I mentioned he was quicker for a little bit there. He's still just as fast. Just about a tenth there. But he's working on getting to that back bumper of that 98. I think John Ross is getting a little hungry. He's about to chew up the back end of that McDonald's 98. It looks like Andrew Teft not going to battle right now. He knows that he's trying to save those tires, and maybe this is part of saving a little bit of that fuel as he allows John Ross to flip back into the race lead.
John Ross took a big bite out of the Big Mac attack, and he has sent Teft to the high side of the racetrack, and now he's going to lose another position as the 98 suddenly drops all the way back to third as Plank able to follow John Ross to the point. And again, we got to remember, 98 older tires. There's a 7 to 8 lap difference on the tires on that 98 compared to what's on these current cars he is battling with, and also could be on an alternate strategy here, trying to go the distance and win this race on fuel mileage if the opportunity does present himself. However, look at the Ford performance tonight out there on the racetrack. Ross, guess what? Ford Mustang. Plank, he's got a Coyote under the hood, the blue oval on that machine, and a very similar story here for Teft. And guess what? P4, you guessed it, Ford Mustang. The first other manufacturer, and that just changed. There's another dark horse. That's 5 Fords inside of the top 5. That is crazy good for any manufacturer, any given day of the week, and the Fords are vibing here tonight.
Most definitely. I was looking back through here. I imagine looking back to about Trevor Woodward is in 18th position. Must be about where the 7.3s are hanging out tonight.
So Trevor Woodward, I thought you said 7th place position. That is a Chevrolet Curtis Eckert, but I mean the Fords right now have a stranglehold on the field. Then just behind him, you're going to find a heated battle here. We have 2 Toyotas going up. That's going to be Josh Freeman. Honeycutt there as well. However, he is off the lead pace, and there is the Teft version, Alex, of course, brother to the league owner and CEO Andrew Teft. Up 5 positions. Here's a driver that's really starting to. Oh, he got loose there. I'm telling you, folks, that broadcaster's curse is real. Ron will back me up on this. I was just going to say, well, we'll keep it short and sweet. He's been doing a much better job out there on the racetrack as of recently. You can see the performance out there starting to pick up. However, he is dealing with a big-time race car ride.
It's broadcaster's curse becomes a big plague for sure. We try not to mention it, how well somebody's doing, because before it's all said and done, you got your hands full and you're all over the place, and you're just trying to keep your nose clean and finish the race, and you try to hope for 0 accidents and 0 incidents before the race is over, and unfortunately that vibe in the booth here definitely stands true with the announcer's curse. And John Ross kicking tail out front right now, and Jacob Plank staying right with him, not really allowing him to get away. He's holding it true as Andrew Tuft slipped down to position number 4. It's in a couple positions jockey here. It looked like there was a loose car off of turn 2. I'm not exactly sure who that was, but it was close to the back around the 3. Maybe midfielder on Troy Thomas' position, but saw a little bit of a local yellow pop up and then it faded. So got 44 continuing to lead here, and looking to see if last time by he was faster than the majority of the field. He looks like he did post fast time, so he raced there 30.338 last time by. So still rocking some pretty solid lap times for the 44-4 to John Ross.
Yeah, John Ross once again continuing to show why he is a contender and force to be reckoned with here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. Another thing I want to point out, John also a featured broadcast and a part of the family here at Racers Elite Network. I want to thank him for all the coverage. They do a fantastic job. And you can catch him, I believe, on Tuesday nights covering the Truck Series action. And Thursday nights, it's all about strapping up, putting the race suit on, and getting behind the wheel. And not only is he one heck of a broadcaster, he's a heck of a wheelman. He is getting it done here once again, being smooth like the Tennessee Whiskey in that second place position. Troy Top, go ahead.
As I cue the music right now, it is bathroom time. The 98 McDonald's Ford Mustang has made it to pit road. It's time for another scheduled stop for Andrew Tuft.
Tuft gonna grab the binder. He's gonna slow it down to pit road speed. Attack pit road without speeding. Check the box. He absolutely did it. As he now rolls into his pit stall. Should be 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel, the official fuel of NASCAR. As you see the rights going on, crew coming around on the left sides are going to go up. Wow, just a 2-tire stop for Tuft.
That's an interesting and a huge bargain right there. He's gonna try this. So I imagine this is one of the things. This is the game changers that I like to do. I like to do this stuff too. I'm on the same boat with him. I've done it. It works. He found something with the race car, something in the corners that he likes. Just a 2-tire stop. Maybe the car was getting a little free for him. It might tighten the car up a little bit, not having as much grip on the left side. I mean, maybe there's more bite on the left side. Maybe he found out there wasn't any tire wear, or wasn't as much on the left side as he was burning off on the right front. So he's like, okay, we can 2-tire stop this and maybe stay on the lead lap, and then maybe later if there's a caution, he can get that stop in. You know, he still potentially maybe lucky dog it, or I know he might. I don't know if I'd push a waiver around the pit stop or not, but he can come in and get those left sides later if need be. He can sell that first caution come out, and I think he's kind of like now he's a little weary about taking forward.
I'll tell you what, like the Big Mac has that secret sauce, well, Tuft had a secret plan perhaps deployed here on the racetrack tonight. 2 tires going down on that last pit stop. Some people would probably go, are you kidding me? And that's when I'm scratching my head. And then I remember coming back to this racetrack, you know, depending on how you drove this race car, it didn't use a lot of left side tires under nighttime conditions. And perhaps he keyed in on that and decided we're just going to roll the dice here. We're going to go 2 tires. And, you know, just something told me when we opened up the show, top of the broadcast, that Tuft was just sick of not getting the finishes, not getting the win. And he was going to do something extraordinary here tonight. And we've seen it now live on air breakdown. His battle plan, that was 2 tires on the last stop. We're going to have to see how much of an advantage this is going to give him once these other drivers come down the racetrack for service that he's contending with out there on the racetrack. Right now, Andrew Tuft being scored in that 14th place position. Other note, currently 1 lap down. However, that should change drastically as the leaders and other drivers currently scored ahead of him come down for service on their race cars, as it continues to be the John Ross and Jacob Plank show in the fast forwards up here at the pole.
We got a few cars that came into pit, Andrew Tuft being one of them, which we highlighted. Christopher Pendle has also been down on lap 74. So those are the only two drivers to pit here recently. As green flag stop should be coming here. I know Andrews stuck it out, but he was right there. So we got these cars, the other drivers, looking probably around maybe around lap 80, maybe, unless they're
Here we
they
go.
short field here. Yep, yeah, they're gonna come now.
Look at the precision. Oh, the 35 locks him up. Does he get a speeding penalty? I know Rod will be all over that.
Both Jacob Plank and John Ross.
Oh my heavens to Betsy. Both of these drivers slapped with an infraction attacking pit road. We call it the money stop for a reason. It is painful to watch as two of the fastest cars on the racetrack gonna get smashed with a speeding penalty, and perhaps the move by Andrew Tepp forced them to be that much more aggressive, and that leads to a costly mistake, something we typically don't see these guys do, as the Nitrous Cowboy down and away. Heartbreak for the fast Fords, or at least these two drivers, but nonetheless, you're going to have to just bite the bullet on that one and hope for a miracle. As Kane, Leroy, Alex Tept also on pit road right now. Diego Rodriguez going to come off the racetrack and put it down pit road. So is that THD Designs Camry as well, just behind him. This is going to cycle free up to the lead with Kirby Wainscott, the Colonel, behind.
Most definitely. Everybody else looks like they made it down pit road unscathed for the time being. We'll see that Joshua Freed about to make his way to pit road too, and Kirby Wainscott, I believe, is probably going to follow him and follow suit. So, he's second position. So I imagine that that battle will continue off of pit road. So we'll see if these drivers make it to pit road unscathed. As it looks like, maybe I stand corrected, the 10 is going to stay out, and he's going to take over the race lead during this cycle of pit stops. And he's going to lead for the first time today in that number 10.
The Colonel pops a salute, takes the torch, and leads the charge in the Toyota. And in the words of their marketing slogan, "Let's go places," he has gone to the point. However, last out on lap 50, he does not have enough go fast in the tank to go the distance, or at least I don't think so. And I can confidently say that. Josh in the 39 ride now down on pit road. This should be his final pit stop of the evening, as he is now down and away. And Ron, look who has cycled to that second place position. 22 left on the board to go. How are things looking for the 98?
Well, they should be looking pretty good as long as you get those tires under him. But he does, like we mentioned before, a lot of these drivers have a little bit pressure tire to do that pit stop coming a little bit earlier, especially this time. Last time was a little bit later. This cycle here a little earlier than everybody else because they pitted after him. But so his cycle technically early this time. But if he can get those tires under him and maintain his pace right now, he gets in front of Wainscott when Wainscott comes down pit road, which should be here shortly. It's 34 laps into this run, so we do know you can go to 43 laps, but the longer he waits, the worse off he might be. I was looking at lap time wise, and he's only about a little over a second off, but he's got a 26-second lead over Kirby Wainscott. Kirby Wainscott's a 26-second lead over Andrew Tepp right now. So I was trying to say, as I was staring off into space as far as the data continuum, but your race leader right now, that number 10 Toyota, Kirby Wainscott, got a little bit while left in the tank, and we'll see how far he decides to stretch this one out before he comes down pit road. And Andrew Tepp on two right side fresh tires. That, mind you, might be the key to winning today's race if we continue to go green, because we all know that Kirby Wainscott pitted back on lap 50 will have to come down one more time before this is all said and done.
That's right, the Colonel burning the midnight oil in that Toyota. How long can you go? As he's currently under siege right now, has the 55 and pole sitter going around the high side, the 94 of Christopher Pendle as well right there. And the big question is, whether that Racers Elite sponsor, Toyota, peel off and come down pit road as they high-five each other coming off the corner. Get skinny, boys. Oh, the 10 goes down and washes the grass, goes John Deere mode. It keeps it on the racetrack. What a piece of driving from the curb.
Yeah, I was looking at that happen as I was also taking a little bit of a note here. And looks like Christopher Pendle, as I was going to say, Truth Hook's coming. and that may have been he's on old tires as well and had yet to make a stop. So Kirby Wainscott and Truth Hope both have not pitted yet for this cycle. Back on lap 50 was their last pit stop, and I was thinking, just looking at that, man, Truth Hope is coming for where he was at, but unfortunately that's not the case. But the problem child right now is potentially Christopher Pendle, but we'll have to see how this plays out for Andrew Teff, because Pendle and Teff might be the two that are battling for the lead before this is over.
You're absolutely right, Ron. Thank you for that report. And my God, is it getting fast and furious, hot and heavy. Noah's Ark situation out there on the racetrack for between these drivers that have been out there, it feels like for an eternity. And don't forget Wainscott. Kirby in the 10th, still out there as well, with just 16 laps remaining, and still has a 21-second lead over the two-tire fire Andrew Teff in that 98 machine. Wainscott doing a heck of a job on those old shoes, and you can't discount what I'll tell you what the Truth Hope has done here after going behind the 8 ball here early. I mean, look at all this traffic around the 10. This is not what he wants to see. He wants to be able to go out there and not have to contend with this dirty air being on those older tires. And you can see right now, he is under duress, just trying to stretch it out to whatever that. He knows when he's got to come down pit road. We don't have data on how much fuel is left in that 10 machine per se. Even if we jump on board, we really can't get a good read on his at his fuel pressure. We just know right now he is out there. It almost seems as if is he going to try to go the distance, Ron?
Nah, he's only got about 2 more laps of fuel, I'd imagine, because we saw Andrew Teff stretch this earlier. And, you know, Andrew pretty much maxed it out. If there might be an extra lap or so left in there, but he'll be down here the next couple laps, I'm certain, with the way that things looked from earlier. And it wasn't helping his case any that he had to run a little higher on the racetrack with all the lap traffic, you know, drivers getting their laps back as they're rolling around. But he's also losing a lot of ground, as Andrew Teff is now within 19 seconds, and that gap closed pretty quick there as Wainscott worked his way up at turn 4 coming into the tri-oval. So he's definitely probably feeling it here within the next two laps or so. He definitely will probably have to come down to pit. As I was looking, I believe Truth Hope has made his way down pit road and made that final stop, and he's gonna unfortunately follow that lap down, as he was fighting hard to try not to lose that lap, as he was on the lead lap before he went down pit road.
Yeah, as we take another look here at the data, looks like Wainscott was down on lap 50, not lap 60. That's why I said, is he going to try to go the distance here? However, thank you for that update, that report, Ron. That should not be the case. Is the 10 is not going to be able to survive on the fumes in that fuel cell for much longer. There's no way he should be able to go the distance. You would love to see the attempt. It's just too far outside of that window of safety right now for the 10. He is going to have to come down pit road for fuel, so he obviously paid for a green flag, and there it is. Just like you said, Ron, the 10 on pit road, Hope coming with him, is he's going to relinquish the lead, and that's going to cycle it over to the Big Mac man out of Hope, Rhode Island, the HMFIC of the league, and another fast forward tonight. Andrew Teff will be your leader here in the matter of seconds as he crosses the start-finish line in the 98 machine.
Yeah, Teff takes over the race lead here, rolling into turn 2 now, and he's got a decent little advantage over, I believe he climbed the Rocket, Zach Lockett in the 93 Toyota.
That
and
is correct.
Definitely not one that he wants to see in his rearview mirror, but there is still a 5.5 second gap, and this is going to come down to the challenge of the tires, as the 2 tires stop for Teff. You see how that plays out. Yes, he is running with a minimal amount of laps as we hit the single digits this time by as your leader now working his way down through turns 1 and 2. So this time around, he'll hit single digit laps remaining. We'll go to 9 to go, and go time hit about probably 5 laps ago, and probably a little bit earlier than that with the distance, but most knowing that Kirby Wainscott had to come down for a pit stop, and fortunately for him, I believe he was able to escape away with no. We're gonna have a caution, so this is gonna change up.
Oh my heavens to Betsy, good Lord Jesus, are you kidding me? Sorry to cut you off. Andrew Teff cannot catch a break if his life depended on it. I cannot believe this. And I was just going to say, after you finished that update, that it was hot and heavy on the racetrack. And the
Dennis
car.
Payne and Jacob Plank.
Are you kidding me? Oh, another bomb goes off in the face of Andrew Teff. Not a bomb per se, but I thought tonight was it. I thought he had the right strategy. Oh, man. I cannot believe this, folks. Get your popcorn. Make sure Grandma's strapped in because it's about to be a last chance qualifier, short track style shootout here of the ages here to close this one out. And guess what, Ron? Well, we have an opportunity under caution here. Let's see if we can dial up our race reporter tonight, the one and only Alan Bergen of Sim Racing Media. Let's bring him up here to the Tony Trapass Memorial Broadcast booth. Alan, Matt, and Rod up top in the booth. You got a copy there, bud.
Yeah, I got you.
Alan, we seen early in the race, shots got fired at you out there on the racetrack, or I should say the racetrack put some shots at you. You took a vicious hit. I know you're still out there on the racetrack fighting the good fight. What happened there, and how has things been trending out there on the racetrack since then?
We got jammed up there at the start of this race and got to the back in 98 or 91 rather, and we've been banging into each other the whole race. He's probably gonna have one coming to him pretty shortly.
And Alan, I know you well enough to know if you're using strong words like that, you've reached that limit. You felt like you were done wrong out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, it didn't log as an incident on timing and scoring, so we were unable to go back and actually see what happened. But very unfortunate set of circumstances for you. I know you had big expectations tonight out there on the racetrack. With that being said, how's the car handling? How are things trending out there for you right now post that incident?
Right now the track temp's high or low, rather, and well, this thing's cranked up to crazy.
And it's going to get even crazier, my friend, as we're late into this race. And Andrew Teff somehow finds a way once again to have a great strategy go kaboom in his faces. This one's about to get wild. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth. You guys can catch Alan Bergen live on SRN as well. Does a heck of a job up here in the booth. You're going back, Green Alan. Get back to it. Good luck the rest of the way, bud. We're now going to move Alan back to the booth. And Ron, if you want to take this call, you're back in green while I get Alan situated.
Got it. You're good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I say he's on his way to potentially deliver a DoorDash run to the 91 of Hayden Malcolm from the sounds of it.
I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to get Alan Bergen that bad. And if he's that bad, you know, he's not one to overreact. He feels like he was done wrong. And you know, saying it and doing it is two different things. So let's go out on that iRacing.com pace car.
And this is going to be a tussle to the end of this one because we've got both the Teffs on the front row for the restart. So the pace car dives down pit road. The restart with 7 laps. They're going to be 60 across the stripe in the Geico restart zone. Away they go. It's the 43 of the Alex Teff version going to take the race lead from 14th position late in the going. Single digits left on the board. And Andrew, I'm not sure about the stop here. Looks like 2 tires for Alex this time. With that 9 seconds. Either 2 tires or just fuel for that 43, but it looks like he potentially got tires. He was able to fire off in that restart. Unfortunately, Andrew Teff from McDonald's Ford fled backwards. He's under fire now from the Zach Lockett, the 93 Toyota, off of turn 4 as we come to 5 to go.
The 93 switches from Gunster. Rocket has a beat and fires the rocket at the 93 of Teff. As here he comes. Charted on the bottom is the 98. Probably still trying to figure out what happened to his plan out there on the racetrack. I'm just as shocked as he is. But right now, it's getting Tefty out in front as the Alex version decides to potentially pull the same move that his brother made. Clearly premature now, but who would have guessed that? Is he now leads here with just 5 laps remaining, and here comes Diego Rodriguez hard on the charge as he is good in the neighborhood at the Beast style on the bottom. He is wrecking and rolling as well.
As I said, we got a crazy little trifecta going on. You got McDonald's, Domino's, and Wild Cherry Pepsi all doing battle back there for fourth, fifth, and third, fourth, and fifth. As it looks like got another contender that's at 39, and that's the oh, we got a car blinking, which is not good this late in the race. But looking at the 39 of Josh Freed, and he's definitely got some wheels on his shoes, but he's trying to power forward in this one late in the going with 3 laps to go.
Zach Lockett has lit the afterburner with that 29.7 degree of a scorching lap out there on the racetrack, and that is with a fixed setup that is insane. How did he get that much speed out of that Camry? I haven't seen a lap time like that in this setup configuration in quite some time. As it continues to be the mystery man at the point, where did he come from? Alex Tepp leading with 2 to go. I did not have this on my scorecard, but yet here it is. I said we got to go bigger and better in Texas, and the 43 rises to the occasion with a hard charging, fast closing Zach Lockett on his bumper.
Yeah, Alex definitely not probably very happy about seeing the drivers closing on his rear bumper, and he had that thing in go mode, and he's picked some pretty fast times up as well as Lockett was fast last time by, but 29.717. But Alex Tepp is also locked in the 29.777, so maybe he's got the jackpot luck here. Maybe this will be his race. But on the last lap here is the white flag out down the back straightaway, and Alex Tepp looking for his first win this season.
Alex Tepp driving the last 3 laps of a lifetime here at Texas, fending off Zach Lockett, the Lockett. He's going to come across the start-finish line in first. Boom, shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Tepp has done it. He punches his ticket here in Texas. What a freaking show. Are you kidding me? He held off one of the best we've seen out there on the racetrack as Alex Tepp goes supernova here late in this one, and it wasn't Andrew Tepp, it was the other Tepp. What a drive, what a show, what a call. Alex Tepp, your winner. And you can see all the other drivers in the series coming up and showing him some love. And I'll tell you what, this has got to feel that much better. What the heck? I cannot believe what Alex was able to do, the way he elevated in that situation. What a drive, what a performance from the 43. He earned every bit of that one, Rod.
Yeah, it was definitely a great race, and we had half of the call right. We knew Tepp was going to win, but it's Alex picking it up, and Andrew going to come home with a 3rd place finish. So we have both the Tepps with a podium here today.
I'll tell you what. I don't think Andrews was upset as I thought he was going to be after that. You know, that's his brother out there on the racetrack. I know, Alex has put a lot of seat time into this and, into his craft here as he burns the house down as we switch over now to the post-race coverage here on Racers Elite Network as Alex Tepp rises to the occasion and holds off one of the fastest drivers here in this series, Zach Lockett, the Lockett, turned it up to 1,000 inside the cockpit of Tepp, and he did not blink as he put some of the best laps together of his iRacing career, perhaps, and holds him up, and he is going to get the W here under the lights in prime time. And in fact, we're going to get to talk to both Tepps, Alex and Andrew, Zach Lockett, the Rocket, as well. Rob, before we dial them up here, give them a chance to celebrate, with their teams, have a chance to take perhaps a premium malt beverage, get some water. I mean, what did you think? What are your thoughts there on that finish, the end of that race?
Well, from the very beginning of the first green flag pit stop, I had initially thought Andrew Tepp's pit strategy was great. Seeing how everybody was pretty much giving everybody room, and then we went through looking at a couple of drivers potentially picking up the race win. John Ross and I think it was who the other one was with them at the moment, but with speeding penalties, changing the course of the race because we thought they had the cars. That was Jacob Plank was with them, and they both ended up with speeding penalties. So that changed the course of the event and allowed everything else to fall in place to pick for Alex Tepp to make that pit stop, and he short stopped. It was like a 9-second pit stop, so I believe either fuel and right sides or just fuel for him, and he was able to come out and take over and keep Zach Lockett at bay to pick up the race win. So it's kind of my takeaway was kind of watching things diversity here at Texas. You know, you said things are bigger in Texas, and when it comes down to being bigger, penalties also bigger at Texas.
Absolutely. Now joining us from third place position here tonight up at the Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth, standing by Rod Alex or Andrew Tepp, excuse me. He's with you.
Andrew, a great run for you here. Probably not exactly what you want to see going to third. You had looked like you had a great pit strategy coming into this race, and that kind of fell off when that caution came out, and then I think it came back in your hands a little bit with a couple penalties being issued, and then at the end of the race, a little bit of pit strategy kind of puts you back to third. But a great race to pick up that third place podium. What was it like from your shoes?
Yeah, kind of a roller coaster. I probably had top 5 speed, but strategy kind of locked me into the lead a couple times, and yeah, that caution. I wasn't sure how it was going to come down there because I saw Zach catching me. I think he was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds behind with about 10 to go, and my stuff was pretty used up by that point. So thought it might be close there. And then the caution came out, and I was a little bit ahead of people, so I figured I could take forward, maybe still get first off pit road. But it was just really smart call by my brother there to take 2, and I think the car actually handles better on 2 on a short restart like that too, just because the 4 tires kind of take a few laps to come in. That's what I was struggling with.
I think that hurt you, that having to have that extra laps, and you had like 7 laps, and they had to be firing as soon as the green flag dropped with the short race length left to come here towards the end.
Yeah, I think that the 2 tires makes it a little bit looser, and it can just kind of turn better. If there was a few more laps, we probably would have got by him. But yeah, just smart move by him. Congrats to Alex.
You got any questions for our third place finisher there, Matt?
Absolutely. Andrew, Matt up top, and I talked about you at the start of this broadcast. I felt like when it comes to wins in this series, you have been snake bitten a lot of times. You've done the right things out there on the racetrack. And just for whatever reason, the tide seems to shift another way. And I thought you were going to be the one to go big tonight. And when I see your strategy early, that's when the Spidey senses hit. And I was like, he's going to try and pull a late race strategy here, perhaps a long run. And when I see you take those 2 tires, I knew exactly what you were doing. Everything was trending in your directions. Historically, we don't see 2 cautions, 3 cautions in one of these races here in the Next Gen Series. Everything seemed to be on a one-way ticket for you to victory lane, and poof, caution flag comes out, and I was instantly, feeling heartbroken for you up here in the broadcast booth. But I don't think anyone knew what Alex had in store next as your brother goes out there and puts up some of the best laps he has probably put down on the servers, holding off a charge from Zach Lockett, the Rocket. I know it wasn't you in a victory lane, but how special is this for you to see your brother get it done here tonight?
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. I think you'll probably see him in victory lane a lot more. He needs a equipment upgrade maybe, but yeah, he's pretty quick. I'm not surprised at all to see him up there. He just needs things to go the right way, kind of like what you're saying. I thought I had it made there for a little bit, but then again, I wasn't the quickest car out there because Jake and John were certainly quicker than me, so I kind of lucked into it too. So it's just a gamble.
Well said, and I couldn't agree with you more there. Hey, before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank? Who helped you get it done on the 98?
Yeah, I want to thank my team. A little bit of friendly fire there with the caution, but I want to thank my family, our servicemen and women, you guys for putting on the show, everybody that tunes in to watch and shows up to race. And if you're interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all the info there.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Literally 7 nights of iRacing action. If you want a place to call home, we'll get you on the right path to being out here on the racetrack with under the Racers Elite umbrella. Anything you want, the cars, even a class match on Monday nights, I believe. Andrew Tepp, he can get you pointed in the right direction, and hopefully we'll see you guys out here soon in competition. Andrew, thanks for joining me up here in the booth. Great job out there on the racetrack. Looking forward to speaking with you real soon.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
That's right. Smash the like button, ring the bell. Appreciate Andrew's time up here in the booth. What a heck of a strategy and a run by him. Comes up just a little bit short at the end, but hey, I'll take a podium anytime I can go out there on the racetrack, especially going up against such great competition to continue to move the roll through post-race interviews here on Racers Elite Network. Ron, next up in the queue, we're going to have Zach Lockett, a.k.a. The Rocket, backing up last week's performance here in Texas, rolling the dice, going big. He's joining you now in the booth.
Yeah, definitely having a great run. Zach posted, I believe, quick time in that session as the race was coming to a close. You were reeling them in, and what did it take to kind of make your way back to the back bumper of Alex Steff before the race was over?
Yeah, he made a great call taking 2 on that last pit stop. I thought about it, but really just wanted to be on the offensive and didn't really have confidence in myself in taking 2, but didn't really put together in my mind how it takes a few laps for these new tires to get up to temp. So taking 2 was definitely the right call there. He made a really smart decision, and congrats to Alex. I felt really good all night. Felt like I was pretty good at saving compared to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys would get off to a hot start but then kind of fall back later in the run. And I think that last green flag little run we had there, I was gonna reel in Andrew Teff there. He made a good call on taking or not going to pit under the caution and kind of going out before everyone and being on a different strategy. But he was on older tires and I was making up almost a second per lap, so it would have been close. But I think I would have gotten to him and probably would have had the win if not for that late caution. But all good. We'll take second place in the points lead right now. So feeling good. Just really want to get in victory lane here this season.
Well, you're definitely continuing to do so, and you've had a lot of close finishes here to get to that victory lane. So have to keep pegging away at it and see if you can eventually get there. You've just come up a little shy, and tonight you definitely showed that you have the potential to get there. As the season continues on, you definitely have opportunity knocking on your door to get it done.
Yeah, 2 plate tracks coming up here, Daytona and Atlanta. So, I mean, who knows? I usually get caught up in the late caution there, so who knows? But yeah, we're gonna keep plucking away.
Oh, well, anything you got for him, Matt?
Absolutely. Zach, once again, you prove why I like to call you the Rocket out there on the racetrack. This race, I think the way this thing unfolded at the end kind of caught a lot of drivers off guard here. It seemed like Andrew Teff had the strategy, James Bond style, sorted out before the drop of the green flag, coming down with those 2 Dr. Feelgoods. It looked like he was going to be the one to punch his ticket into victory lane. Then the late race caution. Walk me through this restart deep into this race, that run to the checkered flag. How were you able to maintain the poise and the composure and also run some of the fastest laps out there on the racetrack during that stint, coming home to that solid second place finish?
Yeah, I had to. I mean, you're caught right behind someone taking the clean air off your nose, and really was getting a really good rotation in turn 1 and 2, and felt really good coming off there. But you get down the backstretch, everyone's pretty much nose to tail there, and then you go in 3 and 4, and you're almost pedal to the metal, especially on 4 tires and on newer tires. So Alex, I mean, he just wrapped the bottom, and I can't really do too much to get up to him there. But I think I think it was 4 or 5 laps the last run, maybe even 3. But if it was just a couple laps longer, I think I could have got him. But yeah, just definitely was nervous. Definitely was considering if I got to his back bumper, moving him in 3 and 4. Definitely, I'll do what it takes to win here at this point. I've finished second so many times, so just couldn't get there. So yeah, really felt really good all race, especially on longer runs, short runs. Like I said, there was a little bit harder at first, but those last couple laps, you just kind of got to send it and make it stick,
Absolutely. And I concur 100%. You have to be big in those clutch moments out there on the racetrack. And you know what? If you're not sweating, if your nerves aren't at you, if you're not, gripping that steering wheel, your heart's just not in it. Spoken like a true race car driver. And always appreciate your time up here in the booth. And thank you for that up-close and personal breakdown of those closing moments there on the racetrack. I appreciate you being real up here in the booth and giving us that added layer on the broadcast side of things. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 93?
Yeah, and just real quick, just to go back to your saying about your heart rate and stuff, I think my heart rate probably shot up to like 160 there from like a like 75, 78 around where I resting heart rate. So yeah, that was a lot. Definitely started to get a little warm there. Want to shout out my teammates at Adrenaline Racing. John Ross probably would have had this one wrapped up again if he didn't get caught speeding on pit road. So I know he'll come back next week or the next few weeks and win the majority of them. So he'll be back. Thanks to Leroy. Leroy had a great run as well. I think he finished 7th, and Josh Freed as well on Adrenaline Racing. I think he finished 5th or 6th. And overall, it was a good race for us. Shout out to TJ Hanley and TH Designs here. He sponsored us this week, me and John Ross this week. Check his paints out if you want to get a paint. I really appreciate his work here on the 93 car this week, looking sharp. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting and to the league, and to my fiance Erica, let me race multiple nights a week. And yeah, thanks to you guys.
And as you mentioned, THD Designs, TJ Hanley, I know him well. A friend of mine does great work. Hopefully he's watching the broadcast and seeing his race car come home P2. And miss you, buddy. Hope to be in touch with you soon. And that is the Rocket, Zach Lockett. Once again, Mojo and being beast when it counts out there on the racetrack and comes home with a second place finish as he continues with the momentum into next week. Thanks for joining us topside in the booth.
Thank you.
Well, I'll also leave you with the icing on the cake and the winner's interview, as I am pre-rolling for the Hardy Sports TV Broadcast Network as well for my broadcast tonight.
Ron, I want to thank you as always for joining me up here in the booth. I couldn't do it without you. And good luck on broadcast number 2 as Ron doubles up here on Thursday nights.
Oh, what's a trifecta? This one's a double back-to-back.
I take that back. He's going Texas style tonight on Thursday night. I appreciate you. And thanks for joining me up here in the booth. Could not do it without you. As we now get ready to talk to the one and only Alex Teft, able to bring it down or bring it home tonight. He was in the waiting room moments ago. Where did he go? Oh, he's down in race control. Let's just go there. Alex, Matt up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You got a copy, boss?
Yeah, I got you.
Alex, I'll tell you what. I was speechless with the way you went beast mode out there on the competition. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was going to be your brother that was going to finally get the snake off of his back and get a win here in the Next Gen Series. He's been so close. And then that caution flag comes out. And then what we witnessed next was some of the most brilliant, hardcore driving that I have seen from you since I have been associated or a part of this great series. Is you go out there on 2 tires and you hold off some of the best drivers out here, on the racetrack, in my opinion. How were you able to almost be spiritual and come home and just dial it up when you had to with the victory? That was an impressive performance, and quite frankly, one I won't forget. The floor is yours.
I really didn't have that great of a car for most of the race, but that caution just fell at the right time, and I won here in the past with almost the same exact scenario. Less than 10 laps left, and pretty much everyone was gonna pit because we had to run so many laps on that run. So did that 2 tires. I expected somebody else to take 2, but it was just me. So got to cycle to the front there, and like I was saying, as long as you're like less than 10 laps to go with these next gens, the 2 tires hold up really well.
You're right, Ed. I didn't want to kind of say that on the broadcast because you never know, what drivers are listening, and I don't want to give specifics about your strategies away. Certainly, it seemed to have been the right call for your brother, as he kind of had this strategy mapped out, long before it seemed this race started. I just don't think anyone would have thought we would have seen that late race caution, given the trends that we see over the course of these races. Usually, one's a lot, 2 is, far few in between, once in a blue moon, and it happens, and there you are, ready to strap in and get, and just send it, full send there on that restart. And, the rest is history with you coming across that start-finish line. P1 got to watch you burn the house down here tonight in Texas. I hope that one resonated with you. It certainly did with us up here in the booth. Happy to watch this unfold at Texas. Before I cut you loose, Alex, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 43?
I definitely want to thank you, the Racers Elite Network, for putting on these broadcasts. This new channel's been working out pretty well for us. Good broadcasts every week. And then thank the league itself, Racers Elite. Thank Kensley Smith, Chaos Designs. Got the first win in the Planet Express camera here. And thank my friends and the viewers that watch all the time, and my fiance.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Truly magical tonight here in Texas. Like I said at the top of the broadcast, someone is going to have to go bigger and better, or who's going to go full-blown Las Vegas mode. And Alex Tepp was clutch and seized the moment and the checkered flag, holding off the Rocket Zach Lockett for a thrilling finish here at Texas Motor Speedway. Alex, thank you for joining me up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you were along for the ride, and make sure you smash the like button, ring the bell. This way you won't miss any of the upcoming next-gen action. You'll get notified each and every time we go live in prime time, right here on Racers Elite Network. Also, once again, I want to thank my broadcast partner, Ron, for joining me here on Thursday nights. He had to leave just moments ago as he tries to pull off the triple, not one, not two, but three broadcasts out of Thursday. That man is a machine. As we now get ready to take a look at the final results this evening. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't even driving out there on the racetrack, and I'm still trying to catch my breath. The end of that race was just absolutely incredible. It's never over until it's over. As Alex Tepp wins a thrilling and high adrenaline-pumping late race restart and punches his ticket into victory lane. Let's go ahead and get the final results up on the big screen for everyone to follow along with at home. There we go. Should be popping up. There it is. As you know, you've heard from Alex Tepp, Zach Lockett, and his brother Andrew Tepp. As those drivers come home, positions 1, 2, and 3. The Fords were fast tonight. Another big story. Christopher Pendle in the 94 comes home in fourth with Diego Rodriguez in the 20. Running out the top 5. From 939 Motorsports, Josh Freakin' come home 6th, while Leroy comes across the start-finish line in that 7th place position. Great Beard Racing and Wildman Racing shouting out his team, of course, while the Colonel Wayne Scott from Chicken Coop Racing and the Ted. Solid 8th place finish, while the boss, John Ross, came home 9th. The Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas, in the 3 Machine rounds out your top 10. Curtis Eckert, Jesse Fox, Truth Hope, Jacob Blank, and Ryan Coker round out your top 15. Brandon Honeycutt, not the performance he was looking for as he lost his connection, proving costly in this one. Going to come home in 17th, while the 00 and our in-race reporter this evening, Alan Berg, going to round out the top 18 here from the Lone Star State. Well, it comes to the point in time of that broadcast, folks, where all good things must come to an end, including this production. I want to thank all the drivers, the sponsors, men and women behind the scenes, behind the scenes that make this possible. Without your help and support, it certainly wouldn't be possible. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us a favor. Don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on